What's going on, everybody? This is Chris with EMBROIDERY, Patches for the Culture, and welcome to the segment we're introducing called the Afternoon Thread. And with these segments, what we're going to do is briefly discuss some of the embroidery news that I think some of you should be aware of. But not only that, we will be going live as we work on some Etsy orders, making general patches, using our Juki sewing machine, as well as doing some live digitizing using Wilcom Hatch. Without further delay, let's get into the afternoon thread. Now, some breaking news that might affect a lot of you or might not affect any of you is the fact that Joann's is closing a bunch of its stores. Yes, you heard that correctly. Joann's is closing a bunch of stores. For those of you who aren't aware, in January of 2025, which is this year, Joann's has filed for the second time Chapter 11 bankruptcy due to its continuous decline in sales. Now, back in 2020, 2021, Joann's had a very significant spike in revenue because during the pandemic, there was a lot of individuals, including myself, purchasing fabric so we can make specialty masks just for our first responders and for the people working in the medical field. But once the pandemic went away, Joann's sales started to decline again. And one of the reasons we're discussing the Joann's stores closing is because it directly affects EMBROIDERY, Patches for the Culture. Now, for those of you who are familiar with our channel, we do discuss quite often how we go to Joann's to pick up either some twill fabric or we go to Joann's to pick up some sulky thread as well as cutaway stabilizer. And on occasions, we will go there and pick up some Cricut iron-on vinyl as well as adhesive vinyl. So with the Joann's closing here in Rapid City, we will no longer be able to pick up any supplies we need last minute. We will have to start ordering ahead of time online just so we don't put ourselves in a pickle. Now, on the flip side, it is really going to affect a lot of people out here who are into crocheting and doing yarn work. Crocheting is pretty big out here in Rapid City. I didn't realize how big it was, especially when visiting the craft shows during the Christmas season. And Joann's did provide a lot of the tools and yarn for the crocheting artists out here. So with Joann's closing down, I'm not quite sure what they're going to do. We do have some other sewing and quilting stores out here. We got the Sewing Center, and we also have Quilt Connections. Now, I'm not quite sure if the Sewing Center and the Quilt Connection supplies as many equipment that crocheters use as Joann's did. But if you're watching this, be sure to run to Joann's and pick up as much bulk supplies as you can because you don't want to run out of yarn for your projects and you want to make sure you got a good supply until you find a new distributor. Let me go ahead and look at the internet and see what the internet got to say. Joann's is not just closing stores in little small towns. No, you guys. Joann's is closing its stores nationwide. That is roughly 800 stores across the United States. And with all Joann's stores closing nationwide, it does bring up the question, will this be a trickle-down effect for other craft stores such as Michael's and Hobby Lobby? Not trying to go into any conspiracies or anything, but with Joann's filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, it makes me wonder how well some of these other craft stores are doing. You want to stock up on yarn? You want to stock up on your crocheting equipment if you do that type of craft. You want to stock up on your stabilizers, stock up on your fray checks, and stock up on any embroidery supplies you may need or use when you go to Joann's. This has been Chris with the Afternoon Thread. We're going to get on out of here and get to Joann's so we can get some supplies.